Hello, good day, and welcome to another presentation from us at Budget Consultants Limited. Now, today's video will be me presenting a dwelling that I am part of the whole management, and I am gonna show some details as it relates to where the project was and what influenced certain decisions that were made. Now, for persons who follow the live section, you would have seen me presented this model before, but I'm just gonna present the report that actually confirm that the action that was recommended was just. Now, the unit that I'm making mention of is this design, and the works would have started on the basement floor of the dwelling. So this is what is supposed to be constructed now, and it should be very clear as to where the drawing is pointed. Now, along with this design would have been a floor plan, which is similar to this. This was actually reproduced to match the original. I cannot display the person's full set of architectural drawing, but I can show you the reproduced version of what was produced to ensure that there was clarity. So this is the basement alone. There's supposed to be a stairs here, but that's not a priority at the point that this reproduction was done. So it should be a home area which can be parted into bedrooms, and then you'd have like a laundry, a bathroom, and then you'd have storage. The items that you see in blue were expected to be precast wall, or what we say shear walls, and they all are supposed to be 12 inches thick or 1 foot, if that is more relatable. So when I got introduced to this project, this was where the works were. When I went in, I immediately advised the person that things were kind of getting out of hand, and it was not a situation that the drawing and the works were looking familiar. So this is one of the drone picture at the earlier point. This is a second drone picture at a little bit of a more advanced point. There's another angle of the drone picture again. Now at this point, I kind of put my foot down and I requested that the customer got an additional inspection done. Many times when you have projects that have issues, persons always tell you about an easy, quick fix and, finding a way to just work with it as is. Most times we have learned that trying to take that approach many times can be more costly than getting the project properly corrected. And in this case, it's a burden for the customer because the person who was engaged to do the work was of no professional standing. They didn't run an organization or anything that you could use as leverage to reclaim funds for badly done work. One might ask the question over and over, why demolish? Why not find a workaround? So I am going to just use this to demonstrate why the demolition action came into play. And I'm going to present this because I keep being asked the same question over and over. So this is a copy of the engineering report. For confidentiality purposes, the engineer's name has been extracted, the customer's name has been extracted, and also the location of the property. So I am not going to read through all of this, but I will just go through the introduction, and you will see we were requested by XYZ to inspect the existing construction of a dwelling at, and this would have been the lot number and the location. We were asked to carry out an inspection of the as-built section of the house that has been constructed on the premises. The site was inspected on XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. All right. Now, for your purpose, because this is 14 pages, what I will do, I will gently scroll through. You can pause the screen when you want, and you can read through it on your own. So I am gonna scroll a bit without saying anything. Now you can look at the item numbers to see that I'm not skipping over anything. Now this diagram, I will mention something in it, which is the red markers that you see here are outlining walls that were in place. Now I can bring you back to the images again. So these walls were in place. And I think they highlighted some of the points where the potential walls were going to be with these dotted lines. So these are all the red markers. and the drawing is underlaid below, and it is showing that many of the walls are not following the drawing as directed by the architect. Now this is an overlay again, but this red marker is showing you where the proposed walls were supposed to be. This is another site plan again, highlighting the same fact. And I am going to go down a little bit more. So one of the things that the engineer added to their report that I didn't add was the fact that the excavation level that was prepared was contrary to what the drawing was saying. So they were spending some time emphasizing the excavation, and then in this they showed that the dotted red lines were showing where the excavations should have been versus where the excavation were. And in that case, what it was saying that the reason why the customer got a small basement area, and I'm going to try and show you it, this little area right here, they created a little storeroom under there, and that was on the basis that the excavation would have seemed like it would have built up height, but it was because the excavation was wrong. So I am going to continuously go through this. Maybe I'm going too fast. Pause the screen and read them out yourself, and then comment in the comment section whether or not you think that based on these statements which are provided with the report, if it would have been reasonable to try and fix the magnitude of errors which were being identified. Now, one of the things that you look for on an engineering report or on a report to confirm legitimacy is the signature and stamp is a big deal. If the report is not signatured or stamped, that does not make the report legitimate. In no professional sense can a professional present a document without a signature and it be taken seriously. So the engineer would have signed and stamped the report. Apart from that, there's an appendix area where they were showing pictures of the walls which were wrongly done. They took pictures also of the bad reinforcement. They pointed out that there were no horizontal bars which were a part of the drawing, and they made mention of the levels again. So there was a lot of highlighting done. These were done a little bit later than I did my report. Actually, this report seems a little bit much like it was my report that was mimicked. I could show you my report, but I would have to mark on the customer's name. So it was my report that actually actioned the customer because I was determined that I was not going to do anything more without somebody else giving their opinion, and they confirmed that it wasn't that I was picking on the fellow. So this is other pictures from their appendix, and I think this was the last one, pointing out the incorrect blocks, the bad steelwork, and etc. So these are informations that are required whenever there are disputes on projects, and it was this report which signaled to the customer that they actually were going in the wrong direction. Because I think at the point when there's one opinion and there's no counter opinion, many times it can be seen as if you are not just liking the person. But in the professional world, it's not about like or dislike. It's a matter of wrong or right. It's either it's getting done properly or it's not. And if one can make a case and it can be validated, it means that the case is legitimate. But when you have the time, you can go through it and you can see that it was not a wrong decision on the part of the customer to really agree to the demolition. It's a pity though, because all of this money was pretty much wasted. And at a minimum, you're going to look on more than maybe $2 million or more than $1 million going down the line between excavation and concrete related works. But that is better than trying to work with something that was done wrong. And now we can get back to trying to bring this building back to the state that it was supposed to be based on this design. In the other videos that proceeds from this, I am going to be highlighting the data that was put together to help to put this project back on track. But that's it for me. Hope you all have a great day.